All right. Let's see how that is. All right. Ouch. Stop. Okay. Okay. Get that guy. Move this around a little bit. Nope. Oh. A little better. All right. Okay. Well, we'll start that anyway. All right. Holy smokes. 11, 10, 11 people already. Jeepers creepers. Well, how is everybody this evening? I say evening, even though it's not evening all over the world, because that wouldn't work out. So, over here it's evening, so I'm wishing everybody what I've got. So, whew. No super duper plans like the description says. Poke around a little bit, clean some things up, chat with y'all, and kind of run over some projects and just kind of poke some ideas around. And maybe if we're super duper inspired, then cool things will happen. So they call me Socks. Yes, you are first. Lol yourself. Technical nerd key odds. Yoke the clown. Will you beat Endwar this year? I don't know. I do not know. Valor, hey, how you doing? Eric Holburn, Glenn Nugent, Ryan. Why would you clean that table? So I can find things. Thanks for stopping by, Ryan. It's Blackburn, 1:30 p.m. on Australia. All right. Well, good afternoon then. Covering Lucite as a tablescape. Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. Just sent you a picture on Facebook. I will have to wait until I am done here because I don't have Facebook on this thing because it's actually my wife's. I'm just the only one that ever uses it. So I'm looking forward to whatever the heck it is you sent me, Mr. Valor. And once I'm done here, I'll probably I'll take a look at it and probably have some few things to say because usually when you send cool things to me, I have a few things to say, usually positive. Okay, so safety things. Hi. I think I need that guy. I think I need that. I don't remember why I had that. What's going on, guys? Mr. Gurnhell. I honestly, is that how it's supposed to be? Gurnhell, or is it supposed to be like Green Hell, but it's abbreviated? Either way, how are you yourself? Do I need this? No, I don't need that. Okay, my phone's buzzing. So if you hear a weird buzz noise or the camera shakes or whatever, that's what's going on. There. I think we're done with that. I think I'm done with that. Hope you clean the toolbox first so you can put them all away. Ha! Toolbox. Ha! What is this toolbox of which you speak? The tools just get kind of piled up here. I mean, I got a toolbox. Got a nice big Craftsman box over there. It just is for my more automotive type tools and things like that. The hobby stuff just kind of gets piled up here, out of the way, mostly some of the time. It's abbreviated. Okay, I always assumed. I mean, I think it's your same handle on Instagram, I believe. Instagram, yeah, I think so. And I've always assumed it was green, but regardless, there it is. What are we watching you doing today? Well, right now we're kind of cleaning up a little bit, just so that we have a little more room to work on a few things. Christmas being what it is, the season and all. Just haven't had a chance to really get out here and get much cleaning done. Things have just kind of piled up, and I've had like 2 or 3 minutes at a time, and so I've kind of thrown some things together real quick here and there and whatnot. I do love how it looks. You talking about the table? Nice and cool in Minnesota these days. I will bet it's more than just cool. I'd imagine it's awfully cold out there. And yeah, hard to make videos when it's short and cold. Yes, boy, you're telling me. Had the heater in here running all day just to kind of warm it up enough to where I could actually work out here. Zachary, ha. I don't know if that's supposed to be a hi. Tactical nerd printing a clown themed talon claw. Let me tell you, it is not easy. All right. Nerfing Jello, hello. Pricklies, thanks for stopping by. Loving the shell. Thank you. Spencer Hayes, what do I think of Dart Wars? I suppose you mean the former Dart Wars. At least we used to have one out here, but it went the way of all the earth. I guess I still have them in Colorado or something, but at least as of right here, all we have is nerfed the other competing arena, which, like I said, is all we got left now. Got any nerfy, channel-y New Year's resolutions? I don't know what everyone is talking about right now. Honestly, things are still in such flux and balance and who knows whatnot that I had considered making a New Year's channel update video thing, but things are so far up in the air that I can't even speculate on anything or make plans or really have hopes of anything. I would love for things to get better and to be able to get down. I'm just developing a mountain of videos. I mean, I've got so many update things I need to do on projects. I mean, we're working on this guy here a little bit. I don't think I've ever done a video on this guy at all. Making progress on it. The sling fire. Shoot, what else? Haven't really made. Gosh, 2 of the other Mega Blasters that I've been working on. You know, stuff that if you haven't been on the streams, you really don't know what the heck's going on. So, yeah, that I keep talking about doing the Atlas video, but the Atlas video never comes up. I tell you, I had the whole table cleaned off, hardcore. I had 2 atlases. I had the one I'd worked on and the one I was going to work on for the sake of the video, all laid out once. And then I don't remember what happened, but I don't even know where the blasters are now. I was all geared up to do that video, and then the video didn't happen. So yeah, man, New Year's resolutions. I know what I would like to have happen, but like I said, I am so not in control of my life right now that I can only kind of hope and pray that things turn into a situation where I can get back to some kind of stability and have freedom again to do things. But yeah. Have you ever played with a Buzzbee double shot? Yes, in fact, I have 3 or 4 of them around here, both the side by side and over under. actually had big plans of converting one to HPA to where you can just um, instead of using it. Well, I thought about having the option of having it shell fed still. That way you can just push the button and the barrel drops, and then it'll fire the shells out instead of having to actually break it. To where you can just push the button and it drops down and goes bling, shoots them out, looking super hardcore. Also wanted to have the option to where you could have shells that are modified with extended barrels in them. Sure, you could insert those and they're like a snugger fit. Put some electrical tape around the outside or something to where they're more of a snug fit, and be able to fit those in and just backload and have full barreled. But I traded off all of my HPA equipment to Zombona. We did a little bit of a trade. I was in a situation where um, a main HPA project was at Apollo, and once it got to the point where that project was just not going to happen, then I really can't justify doing a really performance-based HPA blaster here, just because we don't have the group infrastructure, I guess, or anything like that to really justify it. I mean, I could play with it in the backyard and shoot at targets and cans and whatnot. But as far as a real practical application, it's just unreasonable. So just kind of like with the Apollo idea, I wanted something that used some of the good parts of HPA but did not have the radical performance. It was just more of a like I said, the Apollo. My goal was to have a semi-automatic HPA Apollo. So basically, it was rapid fire, real consistent and stuff like that. But then also have the tank plumbed into a Gobzuka tank mounted underneath that had I think there's seven barrels you can fit in there for rival on the Gobzuka, and have just a ridiculous monster shotgun on front. And if you've never done that, I know Buff Daddy actually designed an adapter thing for the Gobzuka to run rival barrels, and that thing is a ton of fun. Mine were just kind of hot glued in, roughed, kind of testing type. I don't know how far he developed his, but I would like to revisit that someday. But there again, I sold off that tank with the HPA stuff because I had cut it up so bad there's no saving it for more conventional purposes. But let's see. Mr. Dan Broski. All right. Same to you. Did you like Dart Wars while it was there? How does it compare to Nerfed in your opinion? I honestly was never impressed with Dart Wars to the point where I wanted to go in and give them my money. I went in a couple times and tried to. I don't know. Like I said, I've been in there a couple times. The first time I was just really unimpressed with the people running the front to the point that I couldn't give them my money. I was just very just the way they handled everything and just their attitude was really off-putting. Then a couple other times I'd try to go in there and was just kind of scoping the place out, getting information on kind of how they operated and stuff like that. And I don't know, Dart Wars was kind of its own little ecosystem in there. You had to play the game their way, play their style, and the people that were like good at it were tailored to that, were a bit like over the top hardcore to the point where I don't know, that's not my type of fun. I'd rather laugh and joke around and not beat each other senseless with the melee stuff and push each other around. And I don't know, it's a whole different type. It's a whole different breed of game. So if that's your style, then that's your business. It's just not my scene. Not my scene. I'm a little too lighthearted for their over-the-top hardcore thing. But like I said, I mean, it's not wrong necessarily. That's just not me. Nerfed has its own things. There again, they cater more towards the little league team and birthday parties and going in to have fun. I haven't been able to get in there for months to really play on their competitive modded nights or anything like that, just with my work schedule anymore. Homely, good evening, sir. It's a little bit later over there for you. Zachary, yes, Atlas video. I want to make that video. Nobody will watch it. There will be about 6 people that'll watch it. A lot of people tell me I'm wasting my time, but I think the 3 people that actually gain something out of it will appreciate it, because it's more of a principle of the matter. The Atlas was such a maligned blaster because everybody's like, it's not perfect right out of the box. This is ridiculous. What a waste of time. And yet this is the same people that will take a long shot and say that it's the best thing in the world. Yet out of the box, it sucks. But if you have the interest and the heart behind it, then you can make a really practical blaster out of it. And I was really, really liking mine. In fact, I can't remember the reason I stopped using it. I think I stopped using it just because I just wanted to try something else, because I was running the Atlas just hardcore solid for quite a while. And I just wanted to mix it up a little bit, and then, of course, haven't been able to get back. Tybeck, Velocity Blasters, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Whew. All right. Dan, sorry again. The wife, son, and I had to bail on lunch this summer. Ah, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's totally cool. I totally understand making a cross country trip. It's kind of hard to have everything set up perfect, and yeah, things change and plans change and stuff happens. That's no worries, man. Next, next time our paths cross or whatever, then we'll try again. It was still cool having the opportunity, even if we weren't able to take advantage of it. Just got home from work to this, and now I'm happy. Well, happy to oblige, Junior. Phil Crofts, good morning. It's getting to be evening over here, but I'm glad your day's just starting. How's the future? How's the backyard coming along? Any updates? I honestly did not touch the yard at all this summer because, like I said, my world changed in June, and I was lucky to be able to get to mow the lawn, once a week. I was lucky. So that was the extent of my backyard things. I got a mountain of plans, and at least now we're getting to the point where we kind of can at least have enough money to where we can like talk about it, to where it's a little more realistic to have plans or discuss ideas. But without the time, it's always one or the other. So it's geez. Someday maybe with this job, we can save up money for a while, and then I can go back to having a job that I like, that doesn't have as much money, but at least I'll have time to do the cool things that I like and have a life that I enjoy. Homely, bought an Atlas purely on the promise of your Atlas video. Oh shoot, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm honestly really sorry about that. Oh shoot. I took a lot of pictures, like when I was doing the mod in the first place. I took a whole bunch of pictures of angles and pointing out things and of the more specific details. But that was on a phone, like I think 2 phones ago, and I'm not sure I even have access to those pictures anymore. Otherwise, I'd at least share those so you could at least have kind of a bit of a hint or a lead on that. Heck yes, I'm wearing my PJs, man. My first day off work in like 2 weeks, so darn right I'm gonna roll out of bed. I didn't even comb my hair today. Roll out of bed, made breakfast, been partying with the dog out here all day. Blue Wolf, how's it going? It's going pretty okay. Like I said, first day off in a couple of weeks. It's been nice to just not be at work. So any day not at work is a good day. Now more than ever. Chris, hey ya. How you doing? How are you faring down there in Australia land? Is your I'm not exactly sure. I'm not so keen on the landscape of Australia. I'm not actually sure what location you're in, but I pray you are in the safe zone. Not burned to a crisp. Good job, Chris. I hope you stay that way. Don't think I can save that. I've taken apart so many things in the last couple of weeks, more than that, I guess, and I can't remember which pile of screws went to what blasters I took apart, whether it was one I was parting out or one that I have in pieces that I'm working on still. This is rusty, so I'm hoping I'm not using those again. I think that was from a long strike. I think. Because I did take one apart to get to the stock that I cut up for this thing. So I got that. Actually, yeah, close enough. I'm going to say it was a long strike. My wife would have a meltdown if she saw your workbench. Because of mess or because of too many toys? I suppose she'd be justified in either direction, so. Hello from San Diego. Ah, all right. So it is, what, it's an hour behind. It's just 8 o'clock then, right? Biggs! Hey, Biggs, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and Biggs, if you're still hanging out, I did see your comment earlier that you're planning to make RAG next year, or this year, rather. And I hope so, because I sure am hoping to be able to make it as well, and it'd be awesome to get to see you again. It was a unique pleasure getting to meet you in October last year. And running into you at the In-N-Out when you're in the drive-thru. That was the most unexpected thing that happened that day. Where me, Buff Daddy, Alice, and Winston were hanging out in there eating and talking about Biggs products and how awesome Biggs products are. And then Alice says, "That's Biggs," and we all look out the window, and lo and behold, Biggs is in the drive-thru, and so we go running out into the drive-thru, and then, you know, is all hugs all around, and it was just very unexpected, very cool, very cool. Those are the cool memories you have when you go to cool big Nerf events and things. While we're talking about it here, we're not talking about it, but while I'm looking at this, I picked all those up, and then I just put them back down so I could talk about things. I'm going to have to pick them back up again. Whew, okay. This Havoc, it's one of those little rubber band gun things. When I started taking it apart at first, because you got these giant Allen-headed bolts screw things in like all over the place on it, and I thought, why the heck are they using such Mondo hardware for this thing? They're entirely cosmetic. They actually do not connect anything to anything. They're just there to screw in and look big and bulky and industrial. Why? I don't know what kind of cost that added. I mean, cost will add up in hardware. It just seemed really odd that there were so many. It seems like there's like, what, 6 or so, if I remember? What, 2, 4, 6, 8. I think there's 2 in the grip, 1 up. Yeah, but yeah, they're just entirely cosmetic. Kind of dumb and silly, and just means I have more holes to fill, because that was just, I don't like that look. So anyway, I'm going to pick these back up again, but I just thought it was interesting to point out that, yeah, they're just purely cosmetic and basically worthless. Oh, Jester Spartan, what are the plans for what you got going with the Havoc and whatever Nerf blaster part? Can't wrap my head around it. This is a bullpup project. Kind of like that-ish or so, something like that. I was playing with it a little bit earlier today. I got the magwell fitted, and I got this little piece kind of tucked up a little tighter, as tight as I can to the magwell and to the flywheel cage, but I still like that radius, and you know, kind of it just kind of wraps around the back of my thumb, whatever you call that big bulky area on your thumb palm thing. Got it tucked in as tight as I could, but I just don't like how this piece is here. And so I like this grip a lot. I want to do something really cool and fancy and lovable with this grip. I'm just not sure that this is its home. I want it to be, but it's just fighting me, and I don't like having projects fight me, because if the project's fighting you that hard, maybe maybe you're trying to make the project do things that it doesn't want to do. And I've come to the conclusion that when you let a project just kind of flow along, and you're just kind of there to guide it a little bit, then the project turns into what the project wants to be, and everybody's happier for it. Per, per the queue? Okay, technical term? That works. Whatever. I'm probably not going to call it that in the future. Like, I think it's a joke, but I heard that the inside of your elbow was called the krelbow. I think it was some kind of joke about something at some point, but it always stuck in our family. I tried to explain that to my wife, and she totally didn't buy it. So I have to be really, really careful what like technical terms I use, because she thinks I'm just like full of crap most of the time. Chris, well, work beckons goodbye. All right, Chris. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and taking a break from work to pop in and say hi and just be your good, awesome self. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I kind of feel like sitting here sorting screws is kind of like, if anybody remembers when Hawkeye was, oh, what was that glass thing, glass window, glass, had some kind of one of his most recent projects, whatever it was, where he just had like 36 hours streaming of him just like sanding all the time. This is kind of like, I feel we're at kind of the same excitement level of content, which just really says a lot about the tolerance of the community here, where we can have, oh gosh, 23 people. I'm so sorry, everybody. 23. We're just going to round up to 25 just because it's a good, nice number, because 23 is awkward. So you got like a quarter of 100. That's a pretty impressive number of people watching some dude in his PJ sitting in his garage sorting screws off of a messy workbench. So bless this community. That's Landy. Oh, all right. Krobo sounds like something Bobo would tell you. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Bobo. Huh. Yeah. Uh, Glass construct. That's the one. Yes, thank you. Nope, let's see. Stretchy guy and a bendy guy. That guy. And, nope. Nope. We're back to this. Alistair Nicholson, hello, visiting on my break. Love your work. Thank you very much for the compliment, and thank you for taking a minute out of your day to stop in and say hi. Yes, Blue Wolf. Some hairy dude in his PJs in Idaho, in his garage, with the dog, sorting screws for toys. God bless America. Haven't I forgot to ask, but nobody said anything. How is the audio slash video quality this time? I think last time we had pretty good luck on the Wi-Fi, and so that's what I started with today. And so I'm hoping that things are still just peachy keen out there for everybody. Because I know what a nightmare it is to try to watch something and enjoy it when all you hear is like, and yeah, it's kind of just really detracts from it. Audio is great, perfect. Ahoy, ahoy, ahoy. Oh, Mr. Pirate, welcome aboard. I say that a lot. It wasn't just like a pirate joke, but it was appropriate, I reckon. That was more of an unintentional pun or something. Video quality is grainy, but that might be my computer. It's probably also the fact that I'm just streaming off of my phone, perched precariously above my head. Like I keep wanting to like show you guys how I have this thing set up, but the irony of I can't show you the camera because the camera is what I'd be showing you with, and if I showed you what it was, then you wouldn't be able to see it because it'd be in my hand. Now I'm getting all like philosophical. I feel like I'm really overcomplicating things while I'm sitting here in the garage, sorting screws in my PJs with the dog in Idaho. This is America, and this is what we do. This is how we do things around here. Oh. Okay, I got another silver guy. Can you turn the volume down on my printer? Yeah, hang on a second. I'll take care of that. Okay, how's that? Is that a little better on your end? Got a jet. Have fun cleaning up. Thank you very much, Mr. Alistair, for stopping by. Have a wonderful rest of your day. There's a camera on your wife's iPad. Yes, but if I put the iPad up here, or how do I do that? I don't think I can change gears or sources. But I don't want to put the iPad up there because I did that once and my wife got a little steamed because she's like, "Hey, what happens if it gets bumped and then it falls?" And I said it'd probably hurt, and that wasn't the answer she wanted to hear. It was new back then. Also, I'd considered doing that because I figured the camera was probably better. But then if I'm trying to read the chat on the phone with the teeny tiny screen, I'd be like doing this all the time and being like, "Oh yeah, okay, guys." So. One of these days, when I grow up and I'm a real boy or whatever, then I'll do like cool streamy things or whatever. Okay, community poll. We got 25 people. Hey, I didn't have to round up this time. Whew. Well, welcome aboard the last two people that made it a nice round number for me. Given the choice, on account I haven't been able to make a video for a while, is a live stream a suitable replacement, hopefully temporarily, for videos? Or you guys like live stream, whatever. There's nothing on TV anymore. Everybody's all caught up on Mandalorian apparently, except for me. So there's nothing to watch on TV, and so it's like, we'll just watch this guy in his PJs in his garage with the dog in Idaho, sorting screws and whatnot. Or you guys like, boy, it'd be cool if you actually made something cool and did a video. What are your thoughts? Out of 27, good heavens, 2 more people. Now we can almost round up to 30, which I don't think I've ever had more than 30 people on this. So, wow, I really need to do something a little more creative and interesting, I think. So, it's, we're getting some room here. Oh, Ryan, this is the toolbox right here. It's called. I just kind of throw everything up there, and I look up there first for tools. That is the extent of my toolbox. That's important. Let's put those up there. Whew, okay. This is a little red O-ring that was extra. It came with my Spamf kit, and I like my Spamf kit. This episode brought to you, sponsored by I bought a Spamf, and I like it a lot. Here's your Spamf commercial. It's nice. Anyway, just realized I was a couple minutes behind. Yep. Streams are awesome, and I've yet to see the last three episodes. Missed the model long videos. Yes. Only if you have Mandalorian pajamas. I do not. I'm currently wearing last year's Christmas pajamas that I got. They have a nice blue background with pictures of little cars and trucks with Christmas trees strapped to the top and Christmas trees all over them. So that's what I got going on here. Too many toys. Never too many toys. I take content however I can get it. Recorded these things matter to a nerf, not to a nerfer. Fair enough. Have a Boba Fett helmet for Connie. That might trump the PJs. Okay, well, whatever. Your work is inspiring. Curious on what your preferred cage flywheel motor setup. Depends on what I'm going for. I'm really liking the 42.5 millimeter cage for what the heck? Krakens and bulldogs. I think I did that on my Devil's Hand. Devil's Hand is a Serenity cage, 42.5 millimeter. The thing is just like super accurate, super quiet. Really has a nice ring from the motors. Good spin up time. I can run it on 2S and hit HVZ performance, and I can run it on 3S and get like super stock performance. And so I do like that balance. Adds a lot of flexibility. It's not really optimized for either, but because I don't do a single style of nerfing, like if I wanted to build a strictly HVZ blaster, I probably wouldn't build that combination. I'd probably build something a little more specific. Also, if I was going hardcore, trying to get those numbers, like PvP style competitive, I probably wouldn't go with that either. I'd probably go a little different. But because I'm super duper middle in the road, it just kind of like, if I can build something and use it for whatever the heck I want and just tweak batteries, then I'll go with that. I just want something that runs good all the time. I don't really need an extreme in any direction. So that is my preferred. It's just kind of very, I don't know what I'd call kind of like a street rod build, where it's like, fun to use and has the performance you need, but it's not ridiculous over the top. But it is a fun level of performance. Ooh. Just got my Spamp kit, but have not set it up. I take it's amazing. I mean, amazing is subjective. It's super duper neat and a lot of fun with the stock spring and just the little spacer that here was shooting 95 and pretty darn consistent from my brief testing. I took the spacer out so I could run some kind of oddball spring I found in my box, and it's shooting about 110 to 115. I want to run I think Bradley Phillips is running a 12 kilogram worker spring or something like that. I can't remember. Retaliator spring. I really need to watch that video again and figure it out. But he was getting like 160, 170 or something crazy like that. I would like to do that just so I can have a wacky over-the-top pistol, just because I don't have one. And especially since it is so dang clean looking and so unsuspecting. And it also matched my long shot, because my long shot shoots about 155 to 160. So if I can have a sidearm that shoots about the same, that's also half length, I think they make kind of a nice pair, though they totally like don't match color scheme or anything. Just because those are really my only performance Springer short dart blasters. Live streams are great. Time can be precious. Yeah, yes. Matt Von Ostrand. Mr. Nathan, love your mods and cosmetics. You've inspired me many a time and taught me to be patient and don't force a build. Well, that's great, because I think so often it's so easy when you start a project to get excited and you want to just like, I want to finish this project, and you just kind of charge through and you just kind of throw stuff together sometimes, because you have like this, at least generally with me, I'll get like a piece of an idea, like 3 or 4 puzzle pieces that fit together, and you get all excited, and then you want to just like start hammering other pieces on there. You really do have to kind of take a step back and kind of allow the project to flow, and you get a lot better results. It takes a heck of a lot longer, which is why I have a wall full of blasters that are not done and will not be done anytime soon, but at least they're working at their own pace and they're very happy and comfortable where they're at. Something, Pirate Johnson, something that can still get groceries home faster than the guy in the next lane next to you. Yes, which is that's where I like it. And like anytime I'm out running errands or something in the Lark, I'll get people catch me in the parking lot and they'll be like, "Hey, is that thing pretty fast?" And I'll just say, "It's quick enough to get into trouble," which is accurate without really trying to state horsepower numbers because I honestly don't know how much power it has. It's not super great, but it is fun and it's kind of loud and it's kind of irreverent, but it's not radical. I don't think it is too overstated or anything like that, but it is fun, and that's kind of that. Like I said, just that kind of level I like a lot of things at. Okay, I got this thing out for a reason. Okay, I get this guy. I really wish I could tuck this up to where. Let me try to line this up a little bit here. My dream would be to have this thing sit up as high as possible, but then I run into a problem here to where your thumb is going to run into the flywheel cage. And I don't know of a way to cleanly get this thing to come up higher. I think if I had I thought about cutting it off here and adding another piece that kind of comes up a little further. Then you have such a ramp here, and it just really kind of throws off the lines. And if all I wanted was just to have this grip up here, I could totally make it work. But I don't think I could make it work in a way that I was happy with. So I'm kind of weird. 22 viewers, 21. Holy cow, people are like dropping like flies. When I'm counting screws, I get upwards of 30. When I start working on a project, I lose 10 people. Okay, whatever. I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. What day is it? But I did have and like I said, I like this grip here. This is I like the feel of it. I like the handguard. I like the angle. I just like it. I like it. It's a grip that I just want to put on something. And I'm hoping it's this. It's kind of like, End War last year. I was hanging out with Alice Coat Duck, and she had just the grip for the hand cannon, like the one that she made for Jengular. And it was just the file of just the grip itself. And she was like, "Hey, here, what do you think of this?" And I was like, "That thing's great." And I found myself just holding it for like 2 or 3 hours, just feeling it and going, "Man, I just want to hold a blaster that feels as good as this grip, and it's like I just want to stick this to something." And this is not nearly as good, but not quite there, but it's still just that kind of same feel where you grab onto it and you're just like, I want to hold on to something that looks as cool as this feels. Like I said, and I'm hoping it's this, but it's just once I started trimming and getting this part off, I guess the main thing was when it was just this part, I can stick it up here and I go, yeah, I'm really digging that. But I need some way to mount it. And so naturally, I want to use the stock mounting because that makes sense. But as soon as I add all of this material, something horrible happens. And which it's not as obvious this way because it's missing the battery door stuff, but you put it here and you end up with just so much height that I don't like as much. And I don't know if there's any way to disguise that. Blue Wolf, this is going to be a sweet bullpup. Do you have a name in mind? Not yet, just because I haven't really dedicated. I didn't have a full-on picture of what I wanted. I know I wanted Rapid Strike bullpup, so I had the Rapid Strike and the deploy stock, but I didn't know really what else to go with beyond that. I didn't have a shape in mind. I didn't have the front end was totally undecided. I didn't know what shape or size or any kind of. It's still wide open, and so it's hard to really get a feel for the vibe or the I don't know the just the feeling you get from a project because at least that's how I do it. I don't walk in and say I want to build a this and I'm going to call it this. Usually a project, I'll start with a shape and the concept and I'll start building it, and then I'll just have a shape or a feeling or sometimes a letter. A lot of times it's a letter that pops in that's like this project looks like it should be called something that starts with this or has this word or this sound. to it. You know, it's like, is it like a sharp name, or is it an aggressive name, or is it a smooth name? And that sounds really weird, but that's kind of how it goes. So I think once the shape is defined a little bit, then we'll kind of be able to get a vibe. I have a couple names in mind of things that I think are cool, but I don't know what the blaster looks like yet. And so that's kind of a whole different deal there. I hear you. Love the Battle Scout grip. Hate everything else about it. Yep. The Battle Scout is close. I don't know if you're talking about the front grip or the main grip. The main grip I like to look at sometimes, but my hands are shaped just slightly too wrong for it. Homely, heading off to bed. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by and just being a good example and a swell person and hanging out with us for a little bit. Hope you have a wonderful, restful night, and we'll talk to you next time, hopefully. Letter W springs to mind when you see it. Interesting. Hmm. Uh-oh. Attack! Mom's home. I do have this thing, and I realize I'm using a lot of the Havoc. I've got the main body thing here, and I've got the magwell thing, I've got the grip. Part of me wanted to have it, mounted like this away, so you kind of have this line, this top line kind of hooked down like that, and thought that was cool. Part of me also thought having this would be kind of cool because it kind of sweeps back a little bit. I also considered using this as the datum line, the main horizontal, and kind of be able to grip it like that. I'd considered that as well, and just nothing's really grabbing me. I think I like the concept of having this away, but it puts such a similar line here that it makes it look like just a wedge, just a, doorstop shape, which is very boring and uninspiring. I reckon I could pull it forward a little bit further, so that this line comes back here, hooks forward and down, and then this away, and then at least jogs back up here before going the rest of the way down. But I just wish there's a little more going on. Because like I said, it just makes this into kind of a big triangle shape up here with a box on the back. Oh, Tybeck, I'm sorry if your house just got loud. Forgot about that. So again, like I mentioned earlier, when it's just this guy, and I'm just focusing on how I want this piece to tuck in right here, then this in my head like feels really cool, or like this, to where this kind of juts out a little bit, kind of an underbite. But then I have this issue here. But while I was cleaning up, I happened to grab this guy because I needed a dimension off of it for another reason. But I also took a minute to kind of eyeball. I'll move this away because my brain always works with the screws up, because that's the side you always look at the most, because when you're working on them. This line here, and just the relationship of the trigger and the grip and everything changes. So that's I kind of like how this feels, because I think I could cut this line here and have this, the bottom of the bolt slot, whatever you want to call it, to lay up right against this, so you'd make sure everything was lined really nice. And that still meets up right here and gives you kind of a nice consistent shape here, kind of a nice organic curve. But then your magazine kind of runs into the back of the grip, but the grip is so long for my kind of dumpy little hands, I think I can cut the grip off this away, cut off about ½ an inch, and just box it in and round it off, which would still give enough, I think, adequate room to work around the magazine so you're not rubbing your fingers on the back of the grip. Also, I think I could put this here. No, how'd that work? Yeah, then I think I could do this, have this piece meet up right about here, utilize this little bump down here just for kind of a transitional point. I'd just take those out because I don't know what I'd do with them. So I have that, which I also think is a valid option. Really the only thing keeping me going back to this is the fact that it's so dang comfortable and I like it a lot, and I've cut a whole lot of the blaster off just for the sake of the grip. But I reckon as long as it was a automatic blaster of some kind, or I guess motorized trigger, however you want to call that, switched trigger, you know, I can work with that. I mean, I reckon you could work a mechanical linkage, but the trigger doesn't move far enough to actually do anything mechanical with it, unless it was just activating a switch in a different location. So like I said, my brain wants that to be there, it just doesn't want the boxiness of what it mounts to. However, I believe this part of the body here is wide enough that it should fit. It also has a little more of a consistent area back in here to be able to fill this in. I'm going to have to add something across here to fill in the void where the rail was, and this kind of pocket here to kind of blend this to this to this to this to this to this. This is going to be a complicated area that I might have to resort to just cramming full of putty and smoothing out, because I don't know how I can cleverly cover an area that big and complex. But you never know. If we do this, then I will definitely get everything roughed in and then go from there as far as, you know, if I do want to go with the grip, I'll put the grip on and then figure it out from there instead of speculating too far in advance. Which is easy to do, overcomplicating things and getting into that, you know, I don't know, it's, yeah, big deal. Kayakosaurus, holy smokes! Hey, thanks for stopping in, fella. As I mentioned to you before, I'm really digging that pistol you're making. In fact, I'm going to stop the stream right now. Kayakosaurus on his Instagram posted a picture of a project he's working on, which is a Lawbringer, you know, the big 12-round pistol, with the shroud from a Firefly over the top, which just fits beautifully and is just like the best application of that part I've ever seen. And then the grip and front end of some kind of laser tag. I don't remember what it's called, but it's kind of that kind of slim, kind of angular looking, really sharp looking laser tag blaster. And then has the grip handguard kind of comes down. It just a beautiful thing. If I knew how to post a link in the chat, I would. So if somebody knows what the heck I'm talking about, if they want to just be a deer and throw a link in there if that's allowed, because that thing is just too darn cool. I like it a lot, and it makes me smile thinking about it. In fact, rarely do I ever look at somebody's build and say, I want to replicate that. That was one I looked at and said, I might have to build one like that. I've actually passed up a couple of those laser tag pistols. I found them at a thrift store, and I was going to buy it, but I thought, you know, it's just not wide enough, because I was trying to stick everything onto a strife, and you need to have a certain amount of width to get around the flywheels and just the wider body like that. But since I'm kind of moving into working with springers and pistols and things like that, I'm realizing, you know, hey, there's a lot of possibilities here that I've missed with that. And so thank you for the reminder and for just building a really cool thing. You have a very unique eye for shells and shapes and stuff like that, and I appreciate that. Long strike looks acute of an angle to be comfortable. It does look that way. However, the stock, I'm actually going to add a little bit more stock to it as well. It is long enough to where, if it was a short stock, then yeah, you would be kind of crammed up a little bit. But it's long enough that it actually has a nice sweep to it. I actually sized this up, and actually I just said actually like 4 times in that sentence. Wow. That Despot, the Tyrant rifle thing that I was working on, has the long strike grip on it, was actually originally cut out for this build, only it was going to be with I was mocking up a long strike front end for it. It's going to be the long shot front gun, sorry, with long strike grip, but I didn't like the boxiness here, since this is a really long kind of a long lean shape, and I liked the long lean grip to match. But the way everything fit together, it ended up with a really big box on the end, and it just totally screwed up the lines. Because everything else is really slick, and then you have kind of it looked like a cow's udder, kind of just hanging out there, and so I abandoned the whole thing. But whereas this front end is a little boxier, especially if I'm going with that kind of shape anyway, something a little more abrupt, I think I could totally get away with having that. Whereas having a more vertical grip, like the regulator, adds the same angle as the front of everything else. You have this angle, grip. It, like I said, it just becomes a solid line here, which wouldn't necessarily be bad. It's just not the shape I'm wanting to go. I wanted to go with something a little more aggressive, and I do think I could pull that off with that. So I'm just trying to look at that on the stream, so I have to wait a few minutes. I'm pretty sure that was my wife pulling in, like 5 minutes ago or whatever it was, but she hasn't come in yet. So that's odd. I don't know if she's chatting on the phone or something, but 30, holy smokes, 30 people. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Astrolito, if that's how the way you pronounce your name, for keeping tabs on that. Alice, thanks for stopping by. Always good to have see your name pop up in chat. Just arrived. Is there enough room for your hand in that thumb hole? I always thought those Havoc things were all metal bodies. No, I actually thought that as well. It's just actually painted. The plastic is a... Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You want to say hi to everybody?
I just did. Hello.
Oh, 6 people just left.
Rude.
Okay. You gonna go sit in the tub?
Yep.
Lucky.
Love you.
Maybe I'll come and jump in with you in a minute.
No. You will not.
What if I bring popcorn?
Nope.
Okay. You're lost.
You can bring popcorn, but you can't stay. Love you.
Love you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. The fact that it's actually painted in that kind of cool metallic green. It's actually a really cool shade of green. Yeah. It just looks really good, and it's not actually die cast. Oh, Tybeck says hi.
Hi.
And so does Matt Vanastrand.
Hello. What's my name?
People like you. It's okay.
What's my name?
M&M's. I love M&M's. Thanks. Behold, M&M's. I'm going to talk with M&M's in my mouth.
Ew, don't do that.
What?
Don't do that.
Too late.
It's not polite.
Oh, you're still here? Good. Where is it? Blue Wolf Nerf. He is a local guy that I don't think I've met. I can't remember or not. He says hi.
Hello.
Astrolito says you should do a video on here as well. You don't just like wave so people know you actually exist and you're not just like a recording that I just talk about and stuff. You don't just like stick your hand in here.
Yep.
And just wave.
Hold on.
Okay.
Gotta move the toys.
Okay. That's not a toy. That is a stool. No, the camera's this way. Don't wave at stuff. Hi. All right. Love you.
Love you.
Oh, Ryan Engelstad. The guy who sent a box of toys to the dog says hi as well.
Aw, hi. Thanks for the toys.
She was in your Disneyland video. Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. There we go. Okay. All right. And to everyone else who said hi, she went away, and so I'll just let her know that everybody else thinks she's cool too. Because I think she's pretty cool. You should have the dog bark hi. He usually doesn't bark unless people are upsetting him. He's not really a happy barker. Unless we're playing with the ball. He'll bark with the ball. Okay. Alice. Oh, Alice says hi too. Okay, she got the water running, or she's ignoring me, or both. Oh, Alice, yes. Oh, hi. Alice says hi.
Hi.
She says hi. What do you eat? You eating more M&Ms? Lucky.
I gave you the M&Ms that were in my hand.
And then you got more for yourself?
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
Duh.
Oh, to answer your earlier question, then yes, there actually is room if I was estimating correctly. Trying to find a place to put these where the dog won't eat them. I'll put them right here. That's a great idea. Yes, in earlier days when I was mocking up this grip with the other piece, then I actually did have it tacked in place for a while, and it was snug. It was kind of a cozy snug, kind of a cuddly hug of a blaster, which is okay because it's supposed to be kind of compact. The whole bullpup thing is is what it is. I do want to trim this up a little bit because I've never liked the aggressive angle right here. It's like you get a nice curve, and then it's kind of a sharp edge right here, and it cuts in to the fat of my hand right here. And so I think I would ease that just the tiniest bit and kind of blend that all into the same arc as it comes around. But since it's a compact blaster, then my hand kind of naturally comes out the side just a little bit. Whereas a pistol, I really, hang on to it more like that. Whereas I'm going to be shouldering this, so it's going to be off a little more like this. And so it's not so much of an issue. What's powering this thing? Nothing's powering this. If you're asking what the base is, it is a Rapid Strike. It's just almost entirely consumed by this deploy stock. Mod Scientist, I love how many folks drop by your streams. Yes, I do. It's always nice to kind of sit and hang out with the folks here. Just kind of a community get together. Everybody kind of hangs out like a weekend barbecue, but it's not the weekend anymore. But people still hang around. But it's the kind of people you don't mind hanging around. Krager will eat the M&Ms and the iPad. He's actually good about eating things not eating things that he's not supposed to eat. Unless you eat a cake, leave a cake on the table, then he'll take the cake off of the table and eat it. Jerk. What was the last thing he ate that he wasn't supposed to eat? Darn him. He licked our gingerbread house. Like, licked the crap out of it. He licked the color out, like the candy coating off of a lot of stuff. Like, my wife made this really cool, like, gravel out of nerds, like sugar nerd candies. The dog licked the color right off them. Now they're all white and gross and, what was it, sixlets or whatever those things were? Yeah. I don't know. He must have sat there for an hour just licking the darn thing. On the counter. Yes, you, Mr. Bad. Aside from that, I think, was he mad at us? He was mad at us that day, wasn't he? Yeah. When he's in a good mood, he does pretty good. When he's upset, he lashes out and does mean things.
Has he had a treat today, babe?
A treat?
Yeah.
He is not. He's been asleep most of the day.
Okay, I'll give him a treat.
Cool, he'd like that.
Choco taco?
Yeah, boy. That'd be great. my wife got the dog designer dog treats from a weird little, was it a flea market, craft fair, whatever it was. So here, let me share with the viewers here. We got this nice little taco, burrito, chimichanga, whatever it is.
Called it
It's a doggo taco or whatever.
Doggo Taco.
Doggo taco. Yeah, boy. So yes, designer dog treats for the dog for Christmas.
Yeah,
Sure,
he
you're
likes
so
them a lot.
spoiled.
Go get it from Dad. I have the wrapper. Give it from Dad.
Come on over here. Hey, no.
That's all it
No,
is.
I've got the actual treat. Come on, bud. Oh, he doesn't believe me.
No.
Here, you want it?
No.
Okay. Fancy boy.
Nice. Nice. Ah, nice. There you go.
Oh, what a good boy.
Now don't. You gotta chew on that one for a while.
All right. Oh. Yes. Yes, Tyvek, the cake. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think I shared pictures. Yeah, where he ate 2 sheet cakes, like full, like Costco sheet cakes, as I recall. No, 1.5. 1 vanilla and half of a chocolate, as I recall. Jerk.
Remember when he ate the Nutter Butters and Oreos?
Oh my gosh! Yes. Was that before or after the party they were supposed to be for?
It was after, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, Halloween party, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we had like a whole plate of Nutter Butters that were
Like ghosts.
they were dipped in, yeah, to look like ghosts or mummies or whatever it
The
was.
Oreos were mummies.
Or Oreos or mummies, whatever it was. Goofy Halloween treats. Dog ate the whole dang plate full of Nutter Butters and Oreos. Jerk. Scott Brown. Hi, Mr. Nathan. First time here, but thanks so much for all your videos. You have truly given me the confidence and techniques to do integrations. Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Scott, for stopping by the first time. Don't be bashful. Come around anytime the stream notification pops up. Night, honey.
What?
I said good night, honey.
Good night.
I love you. But oh yes, no, and that's really the main reason I started doing videos and stuff was to share my techniques and stuff. Since there's so little information on integration work on the YouTube and stuff like that, it's more of a if you know how to do it, you know how to do it kind of thing. And so I'm glad, and it always makes my heart happy when somebody is able to have the courage to make their first cuts because of my videos or whatever it was. So thank you very much for sharing. Definitely thought she said Choco Taco. Yes. No, that's an ice cream thing. The Choco Taco is an ice cream. You eating chips?
Yeah.
Chip eater. Too late. Don't leave the dog. Take the dog. Who's Tyvek? Oh yeah, he hangs out with that dual boot guy. That's a jerk everywhere. I don't know. I don't even know why they get along. Okay. Oh, where the heck were we? Oh yeah. Before we start talking about all the weird things that the dog eats when he's mad. You know that? You made short work of that, hungry boy. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I've got this thing. Yeah, there we go. Like that? There we go. All right. Does anybody happen to have the timer? How long have we been at this? Or what the heck time is it? 9:42. It's been like, what, an hour? Almost an hour? Something like that? Am I the only one that worries about that? Okay, so we got this guy. And my heart wants to like it, but I'm just not sure I'm willing to invest in this relationship. Okay, we got 26 people. Let's take a community poll here. Who wants to cut up a long strike again and see if this works? I mean, I know it kind of works based on previous experience, but does anybody want me to dig the Dremel out and make Dremely noises long enough to find out if this works with this other front end? Sorry. Boy, a lot of people here voting for the voting for the regulator. Go with your heart. That's what I always do. It's from Napoleon Dynamite. Show makes me laugh. I'm sure the only reason it's funny is because I'm from Idaho. I'm pretty sure like half the continent didn't get most of those jokes. Just had a thought here. Regulator. Except more partial regulator. Blaster Show, thanks for stopping by. Your opinion is always welcome around here. Around these parts. Without a direct plunger kit, it's only a looker, so I say go for it. Yeah. Well, and I have plenty to cut up. I think I have one. Do I only have one more? Good heavens. See, I thought I had another long shot too, and just found out yesterday I only have one long shot shell left to cut up. So I need to start paying attention. There for a while I had like 3 kicking around, and so I had to put the brakes on every time I wanted to pick one up, and now I need to pick one up again just in case. You're the genius here, so well, that's a rather generous observation. I'm not sure I can agree with you fully. I have been called that, but I've also been called other things as well. So, Corey Zepp, hey, thanks for stopping by. Do it. Why do you not make a inlet? Like the handle already cut up. Maybe use the outer red piece from the front barrel of shells. Regular seems safer. You always make things look good. So if you have a vision, I trust that. If you think you want the dangerous but potentially nicer solution, I go with it. All right. Well, I just happened to have this kicking around. Perhaps part of the problem is wanting to use this, it being too short to compensate or to what is the word? Complement the tall body here, and this here creates that angle issue we're having. So if we mix things up entirely and fit something like this in there, which golly makes that really, really, really long. But if we put this like that and fit this more like, nah, it's just too square. Much too square, I think. We had something big and boxy like that dude. Which, nope, no saving that either. Just kicking around ideas. However, I was shouldering it and I just wasn't digging the, I like the idea of the deploy stock kind of consuming the rapid strike like an amoeba absorbing one of those things amoebas eat. I'm no science guy. So I just had the thought of if I could add some kind of Like I looked into I was looking earlier today at the Praxis stock, cutting a notch out here and fitting a Praxis stock kind of inside to where it just kind of stuck out maybe halfway and down. But it's just a bit too tall even after. I've done it before. I don't remember what happened to the project, but the Praxis stock has almost like two pads separate with a little link in the middle. I took a cutout and kind of butted them together and shortened it and it looked better, but even in this application, it's still much too tall. It leaves that tail sticking out the bottom, which I didn't like. So I was just thinking about adding something like that, but that makes the bottom stick out too much. I reckon I could take a section out of the middle and tuck that up, which would be kind of cool, but then that hooks down and kind of makes a weird line. So, and that's weird too. So, okay, just kicking ideas around while I'm deliberating. All right, that was my last M&M, and there's no more coming. All right, Mr. Nathan, I can fill my car with blasters and come fill your garage. Oh, handy. Um, uh, I'm really debating getting another set of shelves. Right now, I have a set of shelves blocking one garage door that's locked down and doesn't really work. But I have one garage door that opens nice. Part of me is kind of considering getting another set of shelves and putting it in front of the other garage door so I have more shelf space because I have a lot of totes on the ground for all my parts and things. Don't threaten me with things like that I'd get excited about and then have to try to figure out a way to store all of them. Daily Toast, howdy. Do you know the Big Ref in Nerfed? Big Ref, Ryan, or you're talking the big tall guy? Yeah, Kai, yeah. Blue Wolf Nerf, glad to be here. Thanks for being glad to be here, Blaster Show. Wish I turned in earlier. You didn't miss a whole lot except for cleaning things up and sorting screws. And there's if you're really wondering what you missed, feel free to watch the after this is done and it's posted or whatever again. Watch the first part, and you'll see a whole discussion about how boring that portion of the stream was. Like I said, you're more than welcome to watch it, but you really didn't miss a whole lot. Um, Vortex handles have some curves. I actually also on this project had sized up the not Ravonics, yeah, the Ravonics grip. Because I really liked the Ravonics grip. I had one, and I liked it, and I held it up to like everything I worked on, like every blaster combination I started putting together. I was like, can I fit this in here? Can I fit this in here? But it's so vertical, and I actually believe I sized it up for this project a while ago. But it's such a vertical grip the way it mounts that it looked like a stick, and it just screwed up the whole balance and flow of everything because it's a big grip and kind of long, a full handle, and so it was just kind of like, and it just I didn't like it. It sounded great in my head, but actual application looked really poor. But as far as the other curvy ones, as far as the rest, like with the rest of the rather boxy and angular aesthetic of this, I want to keep something that's kind of similar. This is actually borderline to curvaceous for me, just for everything. But that's no the functional front gun pump looked good. And pirate, that's the catch. The big issue here was the fact that it just sticks over so far in front and it's so square. If it came down and like back and down, that'd be a little better. But then we're kind of overlapping into it's. I like ideas, like pieces of it, but it's just things don't fit around perfect enough to make me as happy as I'd like to be, and I'd like to be pretty darn happy. Maybe cut about 2, 3. Oh, hey, Drip Pirates Roberts. Ryan, thanks for stopping by. Cut about 2 to 3 section out of the middle of the recon stock and join top and bottom. Yes. In fact, I was considering that, but then I'd have a heck of a time trying to match those lines back up where the little humpy bumpies are. And I guess I could either shave them off and then like maybe add a panel or something to smooth it all over. I'm just not quite committed to the idea. I'm just kind of poking around right now. If I still really want to and haven't come up with a better solution, I'll probably come back and revisit that. It's just there wasn't enough things I liked about it to make it really worthwhile. I reckon I could, if I cut it short enough to where it kind of just went to here, and so it's just this little lip here. That, you know, I want to sort this part out first. I think. There's still some possibility here. We may see this again in the future. It's going to sit there and just kind of hang out on the bench a little longer. All those stock orientations look good on screen. Well, we'll see. I'm not really feeling a super committal mood tonight, apparently. So we may kick around a lot of ideas and just kind of discuss things. Just more of a discussing the concepts. Then if something gets me particularly excited, then we may go further. I'm still wanting to cut off this thing here, I think, just at least for the discussion purposes. Nerfenstein, hey, thanks for stopping by. Always good to see your name pop up in the chat. Dan, your wife would be happy. Mine wouldn't be quite as happy. In fact, I managed to sneak in on my lunch break and do some thrifting at work the other day. And I spent $4 at the DI, and I came home from work late, and my wife's like, "Hey, how's your day? What's in the bag?" And I was like, "I just spent $4." And she's like, "Okay," you know, lovingly supportive, but also kind of that the kind of playful finger wag, like, "You keep bringing home toys," and I'm like, "Yeah." Cut a notch out of the part that swoops down to fit over the skinny part at the bottom of the deploy. Actually, they're very similar. Are they similar? Good heavens! You might be onto something there, dang it. See, there again. You have to think in 3 dimensions. So often, like, people do like Photoshop edits and stuff, or just like, hey, these pieces will fit together, it'll be beautiful. And then you have to tell them, well, yeah, but this blaster's like 3 inches wider than the other one, and it'll look weird. And so my head was looking at the fact that this is really wide and this is smaller, but I thought the bottom of the deploy was the same width. This is actually just a hair wider, and so they actually would kind of sleeve in, slot, overlap, spoon, I don't know what you'd call that. So, you're going to keep pestering me about that, and you're going to probably convince me into doing something here. Yeah, okay, well, the more we talk about it and the more Ryan pokes at me, the more we're going to revisit this. Maybe not tonight, just because it's getting a bit late. But yes, this I think this is going to merit a discussion in itself entirely, just the little stock edition here. So we'll play with that for sure. So thank you, Dread Pirates Roberts, for Mr. Ryan, for pushing me a little further than I would have gone otherwise. Deploy stock could always use a couple mag holders, in my opinion. There's no room to do anything in the deploy stock because the deploy stock all the way back here is rapid strike pusher, and in here it's probably going to be battery storage. In fact, we might be able to. Depends. I really haven't planned with batteries in mind, but I know the batteries keep getting more powerful and smaller, and so I'm hoping that by the time the project's done, I have something on the market that will power it and also fit. I reckon, because I think there's enough space above the pusher. I know Bobo was working on a rapid pistol, and with the plan of putting the battery above the pusher. So worst case scenario, I can do that and maybe even add access of some kind in here. But I just had the thought, once I get to the mag release here, this area back in here is wide open. Since there's two screws, no, just one screw. But if we use this screw instead, tie these parts together, do some filling in here, we could gain a little more room, leave this as a separate piece that could attach with a thumb screw or even some beefy magnets, and make this kind of a removable panel that comes off the back, providing battery access. Well, this is going to be a whole other discussion. I think we got some potential here. The curve on the grip looks great against the curve of the mag. Yes, that's another part I really like. And since this won't be like a super duper practical blaster, it'll be probably a wow. Whew. All right. It'll be more of a looking cool and being fun blaster. It'll probably merit its own little loadout that'll consist probably mainly of banana mags, just because straight mags don't look quite as good. Still acceptable, just not quite as jazzy. Whew. Man, I'm gonna be screwed up for a long time. I don't know why. Like when I sneeze, man, I'm toast for like an hour. Front end possibilities, yeah, Blaster Show. We're actually discussing that probably right before you dropped in. I actually want to keep this as the front end. I'd kicked around the idea of putting a extended barrel through, and am also considering maybe putting a second flywheel cage here in this little rise, just to kind of tuck it in. Have to size that up and see if it's going to be possible. If not, it'll just be a not really performance-based blaster, and I'll just deal with the barrel drag, and it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because like I said, it's going to be a fun blaster, not a super hardcore performance-based blaster, but we'll see. Like I said, if the battery's going in the back, we got all the space up here that we could run the wiring and stuff like that if we need to for a second cage. Possibility, we'll see. But yeah, I do kind of like this angle cut here, and the barrel is going to come out right about here. Yeah, right, kind of right along this line here, so it's not dead center in the opening. But I was going to kind of have this kind of an open shroud-ish kind of feel to it. But it kind of depends on how the rest of the front grip area turns out. Whew. Boy, that sneeze really rocked my world. Cut some of the bottom of the pump grip out so it wraps around the select fire switches area. Possible. My brain kind of liked the idea of using the switch, not necessarily for select fire, but maybe doing something else cool with it, just because it is kind of a cool spot for it, even though my fingers are a bit short. Even if it was just something silly like a lighting gimmick or a kill switch, or I don't know. But it's one of those things where, hey, it's here, might as well see if I can do something with it. But I'm definitely not opposed to just covering up the whole darn area. But, I don't know. It's just not quite there for me. There again, nothing is set in stone, and we'll probably try a lot of different things before the day's over. Get to the chopper. Okay. Bringing home toy could be worse. Holy cow, I'm way behind on chat. Triple stage. definitely a possibility, but I like this kind of sleek area through here that I want to leave it kind of open, and I might even cover it up to where you can just kind of maybe put like a screen or something through there, so you can kind of see the barrel, but it's still kind of open. But yeah, definitely leaning on the dual, but not totally committed, just because I don't want to affect the aesthetics. It depends on it should be wide enough to accommodate at least 130s, but there again, it's an idea, but not totally committed, just because I don't want to have my heart broken if it doesn't work out. But I would love to be pleasantly surprised if it does. How about the angly bits from the front gun itself? The front on there. The angly bits. Are you talking the like for the bottom, or because I'm kind of digging this here. It's just this whole grippy area that's really kind of lousing me up. Oh, Amanda, I believe Rage Film Blast comes in. Blue Wolf Nerf, you're on the way out. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. And like I said, if you're local, we'll probably cross paths at some point. I'm glad All right. Blue Wolf Nerf is on his way out. All right. Good night. Setting up self as a group and real fun. Always a pleasure to have you. Zero to the man. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm sure our paths will cross at some point as well. And if you show up on my doorstep with a bunch of blasters and things, then I'll probably have no choice but to take them off your hands. And I'd probably be happy. Oh, I still got this Sonic stuff. If you still want that, we discussed doing doing some tradesies. Um, so I do have that Sonic shotgunny thing. Double no brave shotgunny thing. The old Sonic thing. What the heck is that thing even called? Braille break. All right. When will I go to Nerfed? Boy, I don't know. Right now, Mondays and Tuesdays are my only days off, and since those are the airsoft days and they're closed half the time anyway, I have no idea. I'd like to get back as soon as possible, but you know, time will tell. Oh, Flip Brett's here. Oh, geez. Hi, Brett. How's Brett today? Flip the long shot upside down, put it on the front of the blaster where you had it, might look good. Huh. From the bottom of the muzzle. Bits for the bottom of the muzzle. Hmm. I don't know. That's about the same angle, and that makes us even slopier. And I think if we go out like that, hmm, hmm. Okay. Have a good night. Biggs, thanks for stopping by. I didn't realize you're still hanging out in chat. Thanks for taking a chunk out of your evening to hang out with the rest of us. Have a wonderful, I guess it's afternoon over there, isn't it? Have a good afternoon for you. Mr. Nathan doesn't like when I show up on his doorstep. Brett, if you showed up on my doorstep, I would just high five the crap out of you. And then my wife would probably like want to make you a sandwich or something, or you know, expect me to do something nice for you because that's how she rolls. Blue Wolf Nerf. Wait, good night. Didn't you already go, or was that no? You went. I don't know. Gary S. Good night. Fernand pointing back. Brett as well. Brett's examining the Ultra 2. Brett is examining the Ultra 2. Explain yourself. Do you have an Ultra 2, or are you just speculating the Ultra 2? Yeah, tieback. Yeah, if If you bring your car around here, I'll just park it down the road and we'll shove it in the canal about an eighth a mile down the road. It'd be a good spot for it. Ultrabox 2 box art floating around right now. Good heavens. The things you miss when you're streaming and all of your social media devices are dangling above your head precariously. You know what? We're going to do this thing. It's like Dremel time. Just because I'm curious, we're going to do some cutty cuts on the long strike here and see how it makes us feel. It's just me or is Nathan kind of quiet? Volume on the video and computer all the way up. Well, that's because I'm not really a loud guy, but give me a minute and I guess compare this. If this is still quiet, then it's probably my audio. Okay. This was totally the wrong way to do it. I've never actually hacked into a blaster without taking it apart before. But since this is a long strike and it's beat up and it's got dirt and junk and it was actually not working right in the first place, I don't feel bad. We should be able to. There we go. There's probably some kind of lock removal joke in there somewhere. All right. What did I miss? Nerfenstein, you did not really miss anything. We did a lot of philosophical discussion on different grip options and things like that. Nothing super earth-shattering, I don't think, unless there was something earth-shattering that I missed, in which case hopefully somebody else was taking notes. Okay. Anyway, okay, so I got that guy. Kind of fits like that. And don't worry, gang. We used the whole buffalo, so this will probably turn into something later at some point. We still have a good chunk of rail. We have a mag wheel. We have kind of a cool looking front end here. It'll turn into something, I'm sure, later. Gunslinger might work at Nerfed when you're 16. Awesome. How long is that going to be? I mean, to when you're 16, not how long you're going to work there. Because we can always use more Nerf interested people at the arena and not just people that are there killing time. Not saying that's how it is right now. I'm just saying, in general, I don't think they've ever really hired somebody who was into Nerf first. It was people who hired and then got into Nerf. Stroller, welcome aboard, buddy. How you doing? Hey, did we recover? Are we cool again? All right. Okay. I'm not sure what the heck happened. How long was I gone? What was I saying? Was I doing anything cool when everybody went away? Sterler gave money, Bobo showed up, and everything went downhill from there. uh, that is no commentary on the quality of your character or anything. And Clowny. Good. It's like all the heavy hitters just showed up all at once. Hey, bud, come in here. No, not your face. No, bring your toy. Bring it back. Bring it over here. No, bring it up here. No, get your face. Out of your face. Come on. No, get your squeaker. Get your squeaker. Get your squeaker. Don't be perplexed. Go get it. Alright, what the heck? Dreadabelle, $2. Greetings from PUBG with Bobo. Dreadabelle. That does not sound familiar. Do I know you? Or did Bobo drag you in here and say, hey, I know this weird guy that's going to do boring things, and you just decided to come along? Oh, and thank you, Sterler, for what, two more? Good heavens. Thank you very much. Have such a loyal dog. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a pretty good sport. I like him a lot. I had a thing. Where's my deals? My dealios. Okay. There's a lot of stuff in there. I think, we got the Dremels again. 30 people again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man, we're really sitting there pretty good for a while, and then the stream dropped off, and everybody went home, and then everybody's coming back, and that's pretty awesome. So, Dremel for a minute. Bobo, $5. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I will make sure your $5 goes to something super cool. Don't eat the stuff you find on the ground, buddy. What are you doing? Don't eat the chunks of stuff. Don't eat the chunks of stuff. You know, while I'm at it, before I get too crazy fitting that, I'm going to trim the bottom of this as we discussed before, just so that it is not an issue in the future, just to get it out there. Okay, that was more of a just to kind of get that out in the open. Just since we talked about it before, trim off that extra space so it doesn't get in the way of the magazine, and just so my brain can kind of be mentally prepared for that is a thing. Okay, that's gonna be there. So that means we can trim it off. Thereabouts. Boy, things are getting weird in chat. You guys are an odd bunch of folks, but I love y'all for it. Also, thank you for being so dang civil. I mean, we're all friends here and all that, but it's still always nice because sometimes chats get always kind of weird and uptight and angry for some reason. So I'm just thank everybody for just kind of hanging out and being all super chill and stuff. It's nice. So many chats have to be moderated like crazy and have a dozen people in there banning people and stuff like that. But so far, you guys always manage to just be very well behaved. So I appreciate y'all for that. Oh, I have a feeling that broke off a little too far. Okay, we're getting close to the neighborhood here. Okay. We are close enough to seriously consider what's going on here. So if I hold this guy like that, tuck him right in there, that actually... I like that. Okay. I actually like that a lot more than I thought I would. I'm enjoying that a lot, actually. It does allow adequate room around the thumb there. And I think by the time I finish trimming the back of the heel of the grip there, round it off, we're going to have enough room. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be just fine, just fine. Okay, so yes, Alice, if you're still here, that leaves adequate room for my dumb dumpy hands. So Okay, just gonna stand up, get a more of a head-on view here. I do like that. I like that a lot more. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, I was just trying to eyeball the top of the trigger well to the heel or back of the thing where your thumb goes. I think it's just the verticality that was kind of thrown off the lines and the fact that this is boxy, whereas this is much more of a leaner look here. And I think we can still think we can pull that off and end up with something pretty darn neat. Actually, oh, the rats. Okay, this grip here is narrower than the long strike here, so we'd have to do some kind of clever way to box this in and round it off a little bit so it didn't just abruptly end. But I'm actually liking this a lot more. Not only more than I expected, but I don't know. I'm really digging what's going on here. I think that's going to make a lot of things easier. It's a little more of a realistic area to fill in here. I like the just the way it's fitting together more. Just trying to nice to keep that screw port there, or at least if we add one, have it be in the same area. Yeah, still just that line almost lines up. That's just so boxy on the front. I just can't dig it the way I want to dig it. Huh. I'm sitting back and I'm looking at this and like, I don't know. Anytime you have two, like you have like this component over here and this component over here, and you're like, this would be cool if you know, but you always have kind of a level of expectations in your head. But situations like this, where once you have, like I said, you have that certain level, and then you actually fit things together, and suddenly the results just exceed the crap out of your expectations. It's a good feeling. I'm doing pretty good here. I'm really the deeper or the more aggressive sweep of the angle on the grip here, just I don't know. It really matches the lines a lot better. Like I still want to use this grip on something. And I like it a lot, but for whatever reason, that was just it just wasn't doing it. There was something about it that just wasn't ticking the boxes. Whereas this here, that having the more of a sweep here, makes the stock even look a little leaner. Because I was a little worried it was looking kind of boxy and heavy, whereas the rest of the lines like having this cool kind of aggressive jagged thing here, and the kind of more of a flat top look here. I don't know, was just making this feel kind of heavy. But for whatever reason, adding the long strike grip and I think having a longer line from the trigger to the long here, more of a sweep here, just really drags this out behind and gives it a little more of a, makes it look fast or something, like a long and lean car looks fast sitting still, So, interesting. Whew. Okay, what's our time right now? Is anybody watching the time? Gosh, seems like it was 90 minutes last time I asked, and we've covered a lot of ground since then. Just real quick, just because Ryan mentioned it, still want to visit this. I think this is good still. Although adding this angle here made this so much more sweepy to where the shape here doesn't bother me as much. So there again, that's why I wanted to really establish the grip in the front section of the blaster before I did too much back here, because you change one aspect in one place and it changes the relationship of everything else. So Yeah, we might do some cutting here just for the sake of conversation, but I'm kind of digging how this feels overall right now. Still need to find something to kind of cap this off, round it in, and do some kind of a grip of some kind. But I might have to dig through. Nope. Okay, I just saw that there. Dig through the parts box and find something. See what my options are here now that the landscape has changed a little bit. I like the idea of this, but this being narrower is going to affect the relationship of this piece to this piece. But I think I'm going to do some more trimming and fitting on here. Glue it down. My glue's coming loose on this component anyway, so I need to kind of reset everybody. Glue this guy in, do some trial fits, kind of see where my hand wants to fit. You know, if I need more of an angle or more of a shotgun, uh, level grip, something like that. Kind of see what's comfortable, so I kind of know what shapes I'm looking for. But I think right now this gives me quite a bit to chew on, so I think that's a good place to leave. Let's see. How are we doing it here? 2 hours. Good heavens. Yeah, well, it's good grief. Yeah, I think let's bag it for a while. It's comfortable. Everybody late, really late. 84 minutes. Good. Okay. So, yeah, I think we're gonna bag it. Phone blast. Thanks for popping in again. Uh, Dr. Jax, I'm sorry. Depending on how things go, just because I'm getting this kind of creative energy now, and really, when you make a big jump like this, a different big uh, jump in design changes, it really kind of stimulates a lot of cool like creative juices and stuff. And so I want to revisit this again maybe tomorrow, if I have time. We get some appointments and things to take care of, but yeah, if I get on this project, I'll pull you guys in again. It'll probably be in the evening again as well. Maybe not quite so late because it's past my bedtime. Um, but yeah, it's been really nice. I really appreciated you guys that took your time out of your evening or morning or whatever the heck it is where you're at, time out of your busy life to just kind of sit down, hang out, have a nice little chat, talk to each other, talk to me, I talk to you, throw some ideas around, just kind of discussing things. I just appreciate your time. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, and that everybody's stay safe and just be nice to everybody. And I'll talk to you later. Good night.